Hi everyone. I'm at a beach on Friday afternoon with the dog and looking out at the North Sea, so not complaining at all. So I wanted to make a video because I realised I've been publishing a lot of talks on different topics recently, but I don't know if I've really kind of summarised how I got to here and what my story is really and why I do what I'm doing. So buckle up and I'll try and make it as quick as I can. So I was always a bright kid, but let's say easily distracted in my studies. I actually went to school from the age of 3, and I spent a lot of time actually in the first few years in classes with kids who were older than me, and I found myself kind of very socially awkward, not really able to follow what was going on, and that's a bit of bit of a theme in life, really, just feeling like a bit of an outsider. Yeah, went through all school, got into art, got into some religion, and but in my adult life, again, it's it's been typified by jumping around from one thing to another thing, and I've beaten myself up for years. I've criticised myself for years. I've talked down to myself, saying you're useless because you can't stick at one thing for more than a few months or a couple of years or whatever. I've built businesses. I've written books on completely different topics. I've learned completely different skills here and there and everywhere, and I tend to be quite good at anything that I try. So, but I get bored. I've got bored easily. So one of those passion projects was I was like everybody else. Every sensible person knew that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere was a pollutant, and I was a real eco freak when I was younger. ecofreakuk@hotmail was my first email address, and so I got this idea of maybe we could help the environment by building soil, because surely soil is made up of a lot of carbon. So if we can build soil, we can suck carbon out of the air. It's called Drawdown. It wasn't an original idea. That took me to a load of conferences about regenerative agriculture and sustainable farming, and I started to hear about the importance of ruminant animals for the land, and then also ruminant animals for our health, which was again a surprise, because I knew, like everybody else knew, that red meat will give you cancer and saturated fat will clog your arteries. They won't, it's bollocks. That was new to me, so I wanted to explore that. So then I came across Phil Escott's 100% Carnivore and Beyond group, got interested in carnivore way of life, threw myself into that. That was about 6 or 7 years ago, and started working with Phil, built a website for him, met Jeremy Ayres and Graham Norbury as well, and we joined together to form the Human Unleashed. So we were then doing kind of biohacking, health hacking, lots of stuff quite deep down the rabbit hole there. That kind of then indirectly led to the end of my marriage, which is my third marriage by this point. So I've been looking for love in a lot of places as well. But I think really, if there's one overarching question that's driven me for my whole life, it's been, how should we live? How can we be happy and healthy as human beings? So that's just what I think I've been trying to figure out. But this search has been so bloody tiring, with this inability to just stick at anything. And I look at friends who've got careers and businesses that they've built, and I've envied them that they can stick at something. And then my marriage ended at the start of 2024. I then did a 90-day challenge for myself. I set myself this challenge of going strict carnivore, because I was drinking heavily. I was drinking 6 or 8 pints every night of beer to cover something up emotionally, obviously. I was smoking cigarettes. I was addicted to coffee and obviously sugar, like everyone is. I gave everything up apart from meat, fat, salt, and water for 90 days, and that was really fascinating, because And I made a video every day for 90 days. And what I realized was that, there's so many realizations, but one of the main ones was that these drugs like sugar and caffeine, really powerful drugs, really addictive drugs, they were worse than cigarettes and alcohol. To give up much harder. What they were doing, I realized, is that they were stopping me from feeling. They were anesthetic. And specifically, every time I felt like emotions I didn't want to feel, I felt the real cravings for a bar of chocolate or an energy drink, right? Because they were anesthetic. They were shutting my feelings down. They were preventing me from feeling what it was like to be me. And then without all of these things for 3 months, I realized that I was okay. That, it forces you to meet with yourself and then face the big questions. Am I lovable? Am I okay? Do I belong? And I realized, yes, this is okay. And I thought, actually, this is really great, because there's this feeling of just being yourself that I then called euphoria. So I started thinking about that. Maybe that could be a book or something like that. Then I got into this concept of Way of the Carnivore, based on accepting and acknowledging our nature as natural predators, and the way that there's distinct differences in the way that a predator versus a prey animal, a herd animal, or a livestock animal looks at the world. We have different attitudes to abundance, to danger, to opportunity, and stuff like that. I won't go into all of that now. Maybe in a book at some point in the future. And then I moved house. I moved all the way up to the north of Scotland, chasing love. And then at New Year this year, start of 2025, I found myself single, living in someone's room, without any property or any money, struggling to pay bills. And then something happened. I'd been running yet another kind of club called Prosperous Mind. And then one of my friends that I've been working with, Sina, who I've known now for a couple of years, and Sina's project was Smashing Life with ADHD. And that's what I've been helping her with for months, and going, oh yeah, that's really interesting. That's just like me. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's just like me. And then I don't know when the penny dropped. I honestly don't know when it dropped. But sometime in January, I think this year, I went, realize, fuck me, I've got ADHD. As well as probably some, a slight bit of autism spectrum disorder as well. But yeah, so that really changed. That was a real eye opener, because then just things like I could just forgive myself for all this, particularly the jumping from one idea to the next idea. And I'd launch one thing and I'd already be bored with it by the time I'd hit launch. And just this craving for a peaceful life and for knowing how to be just happy. Why couldn't I just be happy? Anyway, so that was a huge help. And then in February, another friend put me onto this product and said, in fact, no, it was January. And I signed up in January, but I couldn't order it because I didn't have the money at the time. When I got the money, I put my order in for 2 months' supply. And it arrived in February. I took it, and within 24 hours, my negative self-talk just went. It's the most remarkable thing. All this, you're not good enough, you're not lovable, you're not worthy, blah, blah, blah. It was all gone. And so, that for that reason alone, I'll be taking this product forever as far as I'm concerned. And then, wow. And now fast forward to now. So again, single. I've just moved house again. That's the 4th time in 12 months now. Living in someone's flat, but I've been promoting this product now for 9 weeks. This is my job. I'm on a beach in the sunshine on a Friday afternoon. And my job is nothing more than telling you that there's really good news, and it's not that there's a miracle product out there. It's that you are a miracle, that your body wants to heal, can heal, and will heal if it's allowed to heal. And all this thing does is this, the combination of bitter acids extracted from the hop flower, high concentration, triggers your body into thinking you may have ingested a poison when you haven't, and forces you into the parasympathetic nervous state, rest, digest, heal, and repair, which most of us aren't in for most of the time because we're stuck in chronic stress, or we're stuck in the sympathetic state, fight or flight, for most of our lives, and we are simply degenerating and aging and getting sick. So, I mean, another thing that I missed was the Big Fat Challenge. Yeah, Phil and I were helping people with the carnivore way of eating. We did that for over a year, and it can have great results when you nourish your body properly. For a lot of people, they can get brilliant results, and then there's other people saying, I've been doing this and I'm not getting the results. And now that all kind of makes sense. Why? It's because nutrition is only part of the puzzle. You have to have enough things lined up so that you've got out of your own bloody way. You have to have faith in your own ability to heal. Good nutrition really helps, and you actually have to be in healing, and that's what this product does. It's just a dropper of colourless, tasteless, odourless liquid that you put in any drink once a day or twice a day. I take it twice a day, and it forces your body to go into healing mode. And the stories we get are just incredible. And then, like I say, 9 weeks into promoting this, it's already kind of just paying for all my cost of living, basically. So I get to do this, and I'm just so incredibly grateful that it's like I've found that peace now. I'm living in peace now, and I'm so thankful to Sina for helping me to realise that I have ADHD, and to Lynn for introducing me to the product. Absolutely life-changing on every level. So my job is beautiful. It's to sit in the sunshine when the sun's out and to tell you that the secret is that you are more powerful than you've been allowed to know, that you can heal yourself spiritually, emotionally, and physically. You were born with all the resources you need. It's in there. Just have faith, and it's all possible. So, pretty damn good job, eh? All right, take care. See you later.